Greetings to everyone. In this video, we'll be looking at what is a literature review and how you can go about doing one. Now, I believe some of you may be new to this, and so I believe this video should be of great help. For some others, you might already be familiar with writing a literature review. Then this will be a refresher of sorts, and it'll also help you to understand the expectations to fulfill the literature review assignment. So, what is a literature review? Now, you may have already selected a topic on which to conduct research on. The literature review then describes the current state of knowledge in that field of study. And that means you'll need to read and evaluate several journal articles, books, and even dissertations. You should also critically analyze and synthesize this information. It should also organize the material into subtopics or themes which can be explored further. And then the review may also identify gaps in the current knowledge. And the aim is to propose possibilities for future research to fill those gaps. Now, your textbook by Galvin and Galvin, it provides several examples of literature reviews at the end of the book. Take time to browse through them to have some idea of what a literature review is. It's also useful to think about what a literature review is not. First of all, it's not just a book-by-book summary or an article-by-article summary. It's also not a collection of quotations from different authors. It should not be a composition of author A says this, and then author B says this, and then author C says this. A literature review is also not an academic research paper where you seek to develop an argument in support of your own thesis or your own claim. Your review is more about what others have researched and their claims on the specified topic. Ultimately, your literature review should demonstrate analysis, evaluation, synthesis, and the organization of knowledge. The literature review must demonstrate that you have a critical, in-depth understanding of your selected topic. Let's move on to the purpose of the literature review. Your textbook states there are 3 common purposes, and I've added a 4th. The first is as a term paper for a class. And this is pretty much what's happening for this class. But here in this class, it's also about learning the skill of writing the literature review itself, and it's not just the content of the paper. The second is as a chapter in a thesis or dissertation, or as part of a capstone project in your case. Now, you need to see the literature review as one of the stages in the research process. It's critically interconnected with the rest of the research. You should think of this course assignment as a preparation for the work you'll do later in the capstone paper. The third is as an introduction to a journal article. Now, this is usually a much shorter piece of work, and you would have seen plenty of these kinds of examples in journal articles that you've read. One last thought I'd like to add is that a literature review can also be done as part of your own personal research or ministry research. And hopefully this course will help you see the value of this exercise, and it will inspire you to do this for yourself in the future. So what kind of resources would you use for your literature review? Well, you need to find recent research and scholarship on the topic. And most of the time, this will be found in journal articles. And this should be published in peer-reviewed academic journals, since this attests to the quality of the scholarship. Now, you might also turn to some key books on the topic, and though you have to realize that content found in books are usually not the most up-to-date. There are, however, significant and important books within a topic, and some of them might be several years old. And you realize these books are important when you see several journal articles all citing the same book or the same author. You might also find books and journal articles which themselves provide a literature survey on the topic. And this is really useful. This kind of a resource will present the development of thinking on the topic and trace it from the past to the current state in the present. The expected structure for the literature review can be found in your course outline. And the review should begin with an introduction where you present the reader with an overview of your selected topic or issue. You may want to briefly cover some of the main ideas or themes which you will discuss in the rest of the paper. Now, next comes the body of the paper, and here you must present a synthesis of all your resources. I stress again, this is not just a simple summary. I recommend that you identify and discuss common themes found in all your resources. You could also highlight similarities and differences in what authors have said and contrast their conclusions. Your review should identify theories which are significant to your topic. And in your capstone project, you will likely utilize these theories to frame your research. Then comes the conclusion of the paper, and this is where you draw together all your findings with some suppositions of your own. You need to address the implications of the research on your ministry and some possibilities for future research on the topic. Hopefully, your capstone project will then be able to fulfill this research possibility. At the end of the paper, you must include a reference page listing all your resources in proper APA format.